Here on the other side of 535 and Hotel Plaza Boulevard is the CrossRoads. This is an interesting little space that has a little history to it too that I'd like to tell you. So Dave, tell me about what the CrossRoads is all about. Well, as Disney continued to grow, they had put in Epcot in 1982, and they were starting to become this burgeoning resort, this entertainment complex. And Michael Eisner had a plan for a bigger future for the area. And part of that included having more destination things where people could go and they could hang out and do other things. So he was building Pleasure Island, he was enlarging downtown Disney, and he was bringing in more people. And so something he had in mind was to take 3.5 acres of land that exists on the other side of Hotel Plaza Boulevard to be able to build that out into something that's bounded by I-4 on one edge. So it's I-4 on one side, 535 on the other. And in that space, he wanted to have like an entertainment complex. Didn't really turn out to be much of an entertainment complex, but it did turn out to be somewhat of a dining destination. So there's a lot of shops and restaurants that grew in here. One of the things he wanted to do was put a Goodings in here. There were no grocery stores in the area. By 1988, the number of cast members that was working here was growing. There was more property growing up, there was more hotels, more housing, more things, but people didn't have a grocery store they could go to. So they decided that they'd put a Goodings in here on the property that was the CrossRoads. And it's still the last Goodings that exists in the United States. It's kind of interesting how that worked out. But there's a number of different shops and restaurants in here. All of them have been successful. So this 3.5 acres was developed up in 1988 and continued to be owned by Disney until 2005. In 2005, Disney sold it off to a developer, and the developer continued to use it this way, exactly as you see it today, because there was so much interest, and people could come here. They could eat at Pizzeria Uno, Fridays, On the Border, Buffalo Wild Wings, whatever. And there's a great little mini golf place here called the Pirates Cove, one of my favorite places to mini golf. And so this is the place. And I remember coming here as a cast member many times after work. We'd get off at 3 o'clock in the morning and we'd head over here. A number of the establishments stayed open extremely late, until maybe 6. So we'd come over here at about 3 in the morning and have a little dinner or something and just hang out for a while. And it was really pretty cool, and I always enjoyed that. And it's kind of memorable to me. This is a spot where Disney created something that was different. Couldn't even imagine why they put this here, but they did. And it's really kind of cool. So as we go along through it, we can see the On the Border, the Goodings, the original Goodings that was here. It's funny how the Goodings came in and came to be here on this property. Now it's just really a gift shop. It's not much of anything else. But at the time, it was the only grocery store that was around, the only game in town. And you'll see all these other interesting places that kind of popped up along the way. Like I said, there's a Pizzeria Uno, there's a Perkins, there's pizza, there's this, these concept places like Tomchi and the Noodles and Fuddruckers, and all these places that just were kind of interesting and served a purpose here in this area because there was a need for more dining and more places for people to go to be able to get away from the theme parks, and more importantly from my perspective, for cast members to hang out after work. And in the 1990s, this was a terrific place. It was awesome. Disney still owned it, but it was a great place to come and just hang out for a while. And I have to tell you that even coming back with my kids, this Sweet Tomatoes has been an awesome place to come. My kids love Sweet Tomatoes. It's kind of fun. It's a nice place to come and just enjoy a little bite to eat, and it's always fresh and nice and pleasant, so we come here. And then, of course, there's the Pirates Cove. Now, this is one of my favorite golfing places, my favorite miniature golfing place in all of the Disney complex, the area. I love this miniature golfing place. It's so awesome. It's really just fun. There's 2 courses here. It's they have all kinds of different specials they run from time to time. I remember hitting a hole in one here once with a friend of mine when we came out here, and we just hung out for a while, and we wound up doing pretty well for ourselves, and it was fun. It was just, every time somebody would come to visit me in town when I lived here, we'd come to Pirates Cove Mini Golf because it was just a great place to come. Back a little further, there's a Hooters and a couple of other places that have kind of come and gone over the years. There's so many things here and so many things to take in. It's hard to imagine that this will be going away at some point. And it's unfortunate, but that's progress for you. As you can see, I-4 back there is backed up, and that's part of the problem. Is the amount of backup. So they want to take this land, the state wants to take this land and actually develop it into a drainage basin so that they can improve I-4. So I guess you can't stop progress in many ways, but on the other hand, it's kind of too bad that you're going to stop progress and take all of these wonderful little establishments away and move them to somewhere else. So these little operations are going to have to move on and go other places. And that Uno, one of my favorite places to go in all time. I loved going there. It was one of the places that I would go every week when I lived up here.